Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome for the first time if you just stumbled upon us. Before we dive into this spine-chilling story, I want to say that I know what it's like to hear a good horror story. That chill down your spine, the urge to look over your shoulder, but also that curiosity that keeps you listening. So, get ready, grab a blanket or a hot coffee because it's going to get cold. And come with me to discover the legend of the 13th Son, a story that haunts the hills of Yorkshire, England to this day. This is for those who love a suspenseful story that mixes folklore, curses, and that fear that makes your heart race. Ready? Then subscribe, give a like to support the channel, and let's begin. It was 1897 in an isolated corner called Eldridge Hollow in the heart of North Yorkshire. Imagine a place where the wind blows cold, the green hills seem to hide secrets, and the silence of the night is so heavy that you can almost hear your own thoughts. That's where the Hargrove family lived, on a grey stone farm that seemed older than time itself. Elias Hargrove, the father, was the kind of man who seemed to have stepped out of an old painting, a thick moustache, hands calloused from working the land, and a serious look that said, "Life isn't easy." Martha, the mother, was a strong woman but marked by exhaustion. Raising 12 children, all boys, noisy and full of energy, was no joke. Each of them helped on the farm, from carrying hay to tending the sheep, but you could see in Martha's eyes that she was at her limit. When she discovered she was pregnant with her 13th child, something inside her broke. You know those days when you're so tired that you say things without thinking? Well, that's what happened. On a stormy night, with lightning flashing across the sky, Martha looked out the window and cried, "May this child be the last. May he be cursed, so I never have to go through this again." Elias, who was beside her, remained silent. He had grown up hearing stories of moorland spirits and vengeful fairies, and he knew that words spoken in anger could attract bad things. But he said nothing, and perhaps that was the beginning of everything. Months passed, and the entire village began to whisper. Eldridge Hollow was full of legends, tales of black dogs that appeared on the roads at night, or of ghosts of miners trapped in the abandoned mines. But no one dared to speak aloud about the Hargroves. When the baby was born, on a moonless night, his cry was not like that of a child. It was a hoarse, almost animalistic sound, which made the midwife Agnes, an old woman who knew all the stories of the region, shudder. They named the boy Thomas, the 13th child. But from the first day, he was different. His eyes were black as night, without reflection, and his skin was so pale that you could see the blue veins pulsing. He didn't cry from hunger. He bit, leaving burning marks on Martha's body. Years passed, and Thomas grew up like a shadow in the house. He didn't play with his siblings, he didn't laugh, he only observed everything with those eyes that seemed to see into your soul. His siblings called him the Strange One when they thought he couldn't hear. Elias tried to pretend that everything was all right, but things started to get strange. First, the branches of the trees around the farm appeared broken, as if something heavy had passed by. Then the sheep began to disappear, found days later with deep cuts, as if attacked by a wolf. But what wolf leaves human handprints on the carcass? I know what you're thinking. Wow, didn't anyone do anything? Well, we always think that in a situation like that, we'd rush to fix everything. But in real life, fear paralyzes you, doesn't it? Martha, full of guilt, spent her nights praying in the village chapel, asking forgiveness for those words spoken in anger. Elias, on the other hand, tried to keep the family together, but even he started avoiding the attic where Thomas liked to hide. Then came the winter of 1905. The coldest Eldridge Hollow had ever seen. Snow covered everything, and the wind seemed to carry voices that weren't human. That's when the terror really began. The family dog, a shepherd named Rex, who always barked to protect the house, was found dead in the barn. There weren't just claw marks. His eyes had been gouged out. Elias tried to blame a wild animal, but deep down, he knew it wasn't true. Days later, Samuel, the fourth son, disappeared during a blizzard. The family searched for him for hours, shouting his name in the hills, but they only found strange footprints in the snow, footprints that started human and ended as if they belonged to a goat. The entire village panicked. At the Black Sheep Inn, the local pub, the elders gathered to tell old stories. "It's the 13th son," they said, their voices trembling. "In legends, the 13th child of a cursed family is not human. It's a changeling or worse, something the mother summoned from beyond." Agnes, the midwife, swore she saw Thomas crawling through the hills at night, his eyes glowing like fire. I know, it sounds like something out of a movie, but imagine hearing that in your village, where everyone knows everyone and nobody locks their doors. Martha couldn't take it anymore. One night, she went up to the attic, holding a cross that trembled in her hands. "What are you, Thomas?" she asked, tears in her eyes. He turned slowly, and his voice, deep as if coming from a very deep place, answered, "I am what you wanted, Mother, the demon you summoned." His teeth gleamed in the dim light, sharp as knives. That same night, scratching sounds began to echo on the roof, as if something was trying to get in. Elias grabbed an axe and went up to check. He never came back. One by one, the Hargrove brothers began to disappear. Their bodies were found days later, pale, with expressions of pure terror. The village called Father Harlan, a man from the big city who thought all this was peasant superstition. He went to the farm holding a Bible, promising to end the delusion. But that night, while praying in Thomas's room, the air turned icy cold. The candles went out, and Thomas changed. His skin stretched, his bones cracked, and curved horns grew from his head. "I am the 13th, he said, in a voice that seemed to be several at once. "Born of your rage, destined to take what is mine." The priest screamed, but no one heard him. The next day, the farm was empty. Martha was last seen running through the hills, screaming for forgiveness. Her body was never found. The village buried the dead and tried to forget, but the legend survived. To this day, they say that on nights of the full moon, on the moors of Yorkshire, you can hear howling, not of wolves, but of something that does not belong to this world. And if you are brave or crazy enough to walk alone, you might see a shadow with black eyes and horns whispering, "I am the 13th son, and I am hungry." Did that give you chills? I know stories like this really get to us, right? Sometimes we find ourselves thinking, what if I were in that village? Would I believe the rumors, or would I try to explain everything? This legend, inspired by ancient stories of curses and changelings from British folklore, is perfect for those who enjoy that suspense that makes you question even the slightest noise at the window. If you've ever heard something like this in your town, or have a scary legend to share, leave it in the comments. I read everything and I love knowing what you think. What horror story do you want me to tell in the next video? Like, share with that friend who loves a good scare, and subscribe so you don't miss anything. Until next time, guys, and be careful what you wish for on stormy nights. Don't forget to answer the poll in the comments and in the community.